And so welcome now to my next video. Today we'll be learning about the accounting principles. So I have a set of questions here up to number 20 na nakuha natin sa accountingcoach.com. You can check the website. So let's start here. Number 1, the personal assets of the owner of a company will not appear in the company balance sheet because of which principle or guideline? The economic entity. So what is the conceptual framework first? And this is retrieved from Keiso book, Intermediate Accounting. So it is divided in 3 parts. The first level, second level, and third level. The why, the bridge, and the how. Yan, meron tayong objective, yung qualitative characteristics, elements, assumptions, principles, at constraints. So ano ba yung economic entity? Okay, under siya sa assumption. Nagsasabi lang na dapat separate yung personal expenses ng owner at personal expenses ng business. Yun. Or separate person silang dalawa. That's the very concept of that. Yung number 2, the principal guideline that requires a company's balance sheet to report its land at the amount the company paid to acquire the land, even if the land could be sold today at a significantly higher amount, is the cost principle or historical cost principle. So what does this mean? And under siya sa historical cost. Should be here assumption. Let's put number 6 is okay, number ano pala siya sa under principles sa number 1, historical cost. It means the original value of the land. Kasi di ba minsan habang patagal na patagal lumalaki ang value ng land, pero despite na lumalaki siya or nag-appreciate, dapat dun pa din siya sa original cost. Yon. So number 3, the principal guideline allows a company to ignore the change in the purchasing power of the dollar over time is the monetary value. Yan. So ibig sabihin nito na despite inflation, diba? O despite na yun, diba nga, o pesos, diba, yung abang tumatagal lumalaki yung power ng dollars kaysa sa pesos, dapat hindi ito nag-affect sa values in the financial statements, halimbawa dito sa income statement at sa balance sheet. Ayun yun. So number 4, the principal guideline that requires a company's financial statement to have footnotes containing information that is important to the users of the financial statements is the full disclosure. So what are footnotes? Actually, they are the 5th part of the financial statements. Hindi siya masyado mahalaga. I mean, these are the important ones. Because footnotes explains this for, diba? Para siyang additional explanations sa baba. And because of the full disclosure, dapat lahat ng mga significant events na nangyari sa company di-disclose. Halimbawa, diba, na-demanda yung company. Or for example, nasunugan siya. Diba? Ayan. So that are the examples of the full disclosure policy. So number 5, which principal guideline justifies a company violating an accounting principle because the amounts are immaterial? So the answer here is materiality. So what is materiality? Ito yung, kumbaga, pag malaking kumpanya, maliit lang yung 2,000 sa kanya. Pero pag maliit yung kumpanya, halimbawa tinda, sari-sari store, yung 2,000, malaki na yun sa kanya. Yeah. So it helps the company to decide whether to disclose yung amount na yun. Diba? Ano ba yung centavo? Sasama mo ba yung centavo? Kung pwede naman siya i-drop off. Yan. So, yun yung pinaka-essence of materiality. So, number 6, which principal guideline is associated with the assumption that the company will continue long enough to carry out its objective and commitments. It is the going concern. So, the assumption here, and going concern is that the company will not go bankrupt anytime soon. Hindi siya malulugi. Yun yung para mentality ng accountant na kahit lugi yung company, infinity pa din siya mabubuhay. Diba? Pero syempre may mga laws tayo na 15 years, hanggang 50 years yung pag ng license ng isang company. Pero yun yung in a law perspective. In accounting perspective, habang buhay yung company. So number 7, a very large company's financial statements have a dollar amounts rounded to the nearest $1,000, which accounting principle guideline justifies not reporting the amounts to the penny. This is the materiality concept. So, halimbawa, malay mo yung company to is Amazon or Apple, a very large company, at yung 1,000 is wala lang yun sa kanya. So, kahit natin siya, i-drop off na yung 1,000 or hindi natin isama sa financial statements. Yun, number 8, accountants might recognize losses but not gains in certain situations. So this is the conservatism. From the word itself, conservatism. So when given two choices, yung accountant will choose the choice that has the least effect to the enhancing of the company. So kung ganito, pagpipili accountant na kumita or mag-loss, pipili niya yung mag-loss. Yun yung conservatism. Diba? Yung parang magiging safe assumption, wag tayo aggressive. Yun yung conservatism. Number 9, the principal guideline that directs a company to show all expenses related to its revenue or of a specified period, even if the expenses were not paid in that period, is the matching principle. Again, the matching principle relates to the accrual basis of accounting, where revenue is recognized when cash is not paid, or when expenses not recognized when cash is paid or not received. It is only when the services is performed or the goods are delivered. And so number 10, when an accountant has to choose between two acceptable alternatives, yun. So parang siyang number 8 na yung safest amount yung kukunin mo. Ayan. So halimbawa, example nito ay practical, halimbawa equipment. Tapos di mo alam kung ano yung value ng equipment, yung printer halimbawa. Diba? Na pwede siya maging 5,000, 4,000. Pipili mo yung 4,000. Yung mas mura. O yung building, value mo siya ng mas maliit. And so number 11, a public utilities balance sheet lists balance sheets list the planned assets before the current assets. This is acceptable under the which accounting principle or guideline? It is the industry practices. So ano yung parang kakaiba dito? Kasi yung planned assets are buildings or equipment. And it is normally reported as non-current assets or long-term assets. Pero bakit siya acceptable? Because of industries. Diba? So, pwede natin siya i-break. Yung mga rule dito, we can break it depends on the nature of the business. So, number 12, a large company purchases $250 of digital camera and expenses it immediately instead of recorded as an asset. So, again, materiality. So, yung $250, baka malit lang yun sa kumpanya. So, instead of debiting it with an asset, pwede na siya i-recta ng expense. Actually, kulang siya lang yung expense revenue. And number 13, a corporation pay its annual property tax bill approximately $12,000 in one payment of each December 28. During the year, the corporation's monthly income statements report property tax expense of $1,000. This is the example of the matching principle. Yan, kasi yung ano siya, report yung expense kahit di pa nababayaran. Kasi na-incurred na siya within the month of December. Number 14, a company sold merchandise of 8,000 to a customer in December. The company's sales terms require the customer to pay the company in 90 days. The company's income statement reported the sale in December. This is proper under which accounting principle or guideline? This is the revenue recognition. Yan. So kahit umutang yung company, yung customer, di ba? Hindi pa siya naglalabas ng money. Pero na natin, na deliver natin yung merchandise. So pwede natin i-recognize yung revenue agad. Diba? So parang advance mag-isip yung parang concept dito. Number 15, accrual accounting is based on this principle or guideline, the matching principle. Matching expenses and revenue. Number 16, the creative CE of a corporation is personally responsible for numerous inventions and innovations. It's not reported as an asset on the corporation's balance sheet. And so this is the cost principle or historical cost. So baka malito tayo. Ano ang ibig sabihin nito? Ibig sabihin nito na yung mga internally generated brand name, for example, di siya recognize sa balance sheet. However, we have rules about intangible assets. Kapag naman we pay licenses, royalties, we recognize it. However, this is internally generated which has no value talaga. It is subjective. So, as much as possible, we do not have put a balance in the financial statements. So number 17, an asset with a cost of 120,000 is depreciated over its usual life of 10 years rather than expensing the entire amount when it is purchased. It is the matching principle. Again, matching the expenses over time. Diba? Instead of matching the expense of the whole 120,000. So parang paunti-unti natin siya recognize yung expense. Ano siya, depreciation? Number 18, near the end of the current year, the company required the customer to pay 200,000 as a deposit for work that to begin the following year. Okay, continue. So what is the accounting principle or guideline prevented the company from reporting the 200,000 in its income statement? It is the revenue recognition. Okay, number 19, the retailer wishes to report its merchandise inventory on its balance sheet at its retail value. This would violate the cost principle. Again, the historical cost principle. The retailer should report its merchandise on its original cost. Number 20, a company borrowed 100,000 in December and will make its payment for interest when the note comes due in 6 months later. Yan. So this action was the result of which accounting principle? It is the, what's this? The matching principle. Okay. And so thank you for watching my video. God bless. If you have any questions, just comment down below and stay tuned, everyone.